What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers just finished their Week 17 matchup of the 2025 NFL season against their rival Cleveland Browns. Next to last week of the season, Pittsburgh playing for the division. You guys kind of know how the script is going to go. I'm not one of those nut jobs that says the NFL is fixed, but you kind of know how the NFL script plays out, right? Pittsburgh always has a hard time in Cleveland. Cleveland's beaten us 3 years in a row at home. When Pittsburgh is on the road, Pittsburgh loses in Cleveland 3 years in a row. It's cold, it's rainy. Pittsburgh comes in with a lot of injuries. DK Metcalf being suspended after punching a fan like an idiot last week. Calvin Austin was injured, so Pittsburgh had no receivers. Darnell Washington gets hurt during this game, so we're one big tight end weapon short. Cleveland, of course, coming in with only 3 victories all season long. Pittsburgh beat them when Pittsburgh was at home earlier in the season. Now with Shedeur Sanders and a ton of talented rookies, Cleveland's Super Bowl was against us today to try and keep us from winning the division. So one of two things had to happen last night. Either Baltimore had to lose to Green Bay in the battle of backup quarterbacks, Malik Willis against Baltimore's Tyler Huntley. Baltimore gets the win last night, so of course all Pittsburgh's got to do is win today against Cleveland on the road, and we get the division title and go to the playoffs. Pittsburgh loses. This is what happens. Pittsburgh has to wait till the last week of the season, have a flair for the dramatic, have a really, crazy dramatic last game of the season. So now we're down to week 18 against the Ravens. We'll talk about it. But the score of this game is 13-6. Cleveland comes out, first 2 drives, 10 points. They come out firing. Shedeur looks pretty good. Shedeur Sanders is not a very good quarterback. He's not as accurate as the announced team would have you believe. He's not terribly accurate. He does have a strong arm, but he is slow at making decisions. He doesn't always make the right reads. He's got 8 picks in like 5 starts. He has not played terribly well. He's had some highs and lows, a couple flashing moments, but nothing special in the last couple of weeks, as Cleveland has not won in the last several weeks. But Shedeur comes out, looks pretty good in the first 2 drives against us. Cleveland goes up 10-0, and it looks like it's going to be one of those games where Pittsburgh just is asleep at the wheel. And then finally we stop running this weird zone. Pittsburgh starts running this kind of soft zone where the linebackers fall back and the safeties fall back, and there's this middle zone opened up between the linebackers and safeties, and Shedeur was finding the guys in the middle of the field, hitting these 10 to 16-yard plays over and over on us until Pittsburgh starts to kind of wise up a little bit and play a little more man, play a little more physical, get off the edge a little faster, get some more pressure. And then Cleveland doesn't score a single other point. After those first 2 drives and 10 points, Cleveland does not score any points until their last drive of the game, when Pittsburgh gives them 3 points to extend the lead to 7 so we can get the ball back and try and tie the game. So Pittsburgh goes forward on 4th down at our 20-yard line, does not get it, gives Cleveland the ball back at their 20, they kick the field goal. So they didn't score any points after the first 2 drives at all until Pittsburgh gave the field goal to them at the end to try and go tie it. So Pittsburgh's defense overall plays very well after those first 2 drives, picks it up. The offense couldn't do a damn thing, as you see by the score. 6. Pittsburgh has 6 points in this game. A lot of missed opportunities. 2 field goals by Boswell. Another one was missed. Boswell struggles kicking in Cleveland. Plus the turf was wet and kind of muddy and bad. A lot of guys were slipping. Not a good turf. Road conditions, very cold. So Bos misses one here. So 1 missed field goal, which might have played a factor at a different time in the game, but not toward the end. Also, we went forward on 4th down. We were probably at like the 10-yard line or so of Cleveland. We could have gotten points there as well. We go forward on 4th down. Instead of getting the 4th and 1 on a Spartan play where Connor Hayward just tush pushes or does an option play, Rodgers throws a fade ball to Scotty Miller, throwing a one-on-one fade to a short receiver against a taller cornerback on 4th down, a fade ball in the end zone to Scotty Miller. Not the smartest call. You would think DK Metcalf would have gotten some of those calls if he were playing today, but hence he's an idiot, so he didn't play today. Pittsburgh really struggled here. The offense just couldn't do anything. Again, there was no Calvin Austin or DK Metcalf. And I said coming into this week, what a good chance for Roman Wilson to redeem himself. This is the last time that I'm going to say it now. I am going to quit with the Roman Wilson stuff because Pittsburgh has given up. Roman Wilson is not a guy they want on this team. There's no sense having him on this team. He should be traded in the offseason if we can get a 6th-round pick for him, because in spite of his good camp and his really good preseason and his very good moments in the games this season, when he gets targets, he makes the most of them. He's only made 1 bad mistake, that hurdle fumble earlier in the season. Aside from that 1 bad play, he's made good plays a lot of the time. But Rodgers says that he doesn't have his head always in the game. He's not always consistent. He doesn't always listen. So there's some kind of an issue. I don't know if it's a temperamental issue or some kind of a Rodgers issue. We could use Roman Wilson out there today. He was on the receiver list. He was on the field for 4 or 5 plays. Didn't get really many routes. Didn't get any targets. They've given up. If DK and Calvin are not going to play, and you're going to go with guys that are newer to the team and guys like Scotty Miller and Ben Skoranek, and you're going to give all these targets to your tight ends. They have no designs on Roman Wilson. I know he's on a rookie contract, and his situation could change with a different quarterback or another year experience or a different coordinator, but poor Roman Wilson is being screwed in Pittsburgh. He doesn't belong here. He should go and thrive somewhere else. That being said, we got a lot of targets to Scotty Miller. They weren't terribly accurate. He did okay. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, we'll talk about it. We'll get into stats here. Anyway, Pittsburgh does not score a single touchdown the entire game. 1 missed field goal, 1 fourth down turnover in the red zone. But the Browns tried to give us this game. They didn't do anything on offense for 3 full quarters. Were completely shut down after 2 drives and gave us 2 turnovers, 2 bad picks by Shedeur Sanders, who really just was not seeing the field well at all for 3 quarters of this game. The Browns tried to give us the win. We got 2 turnovers, one of which was in our own zone. Couldn't make it work all day long. Rodgers did not have a very good game. Let's get into some stats here. Rodgers in this game was 21 of 39, not a good completion percentage. 21 of 39, 168 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He did have that one good drive. There was like a 6-7 minute drive or probably longer than that, probably close to a 10-minute drive in the third quarter, which we got a missed field goal on. He also drove us down at the end of the game. We took the ball at the 35, drove down to our own 10-yard line on 3 good completions, 1 to Scotty Miller, 2 to Pat Freiermuth, and then Rodgers had 4 chances from the 10 to throw the ball in, and we just couldn't make it work because Marquez Valdez-Scantling had 9 freaking targets today. We're going to talk about him, but not a good day for Rodgers. Wasn't terribly accurate, complained a lot. Got a lot of pressure, only got sacked twice, mostly on holding the ball, but the line played pretty good. Cleveland did get good pressure. They've got a very good defense and a good line. Myles Garrett, again, didn't do much today in spite of going for the sack record, which he didn't get today, thankfully. That being said, good defense by Cleveland overall. And again, I know it was a division battle and a tough team and a hard road game and, injuries and suspensions and bad field conditions. That being said, if you're a playoff team and you're playing for your playoff lives against a team that has 3 wins against a rookie quarterback, you freaking get it done. We deserve to not make the playoffs. If we lose next week, we deserve what we get. Rodgers' bad game today didn't look great, but didn't have a lot of options either. Jaylen Warren was our MVP on offense today. 12 carries, 64 yards, 5.3 yards per carry. Not quite sure why he didn't get more. Kenneth Gainwell had one of his weakest games in a long time, only I think at about 3.5 per carry. Maybe even a little less than that. So he wasn't terribly strong today. Jaylen Warren had a couple of nice plays. Didn't get enough carries, in my opinion. They were doing too many dump-offs at the line of scrimmage. Too many just like extended run game plays where they just throw a -1 or a 2-yard out and hope the guy breaks some tackles. And when it's guys like Scotty Miller, they're not going to break tackles. Scotty Miller's not a break tackle kind of guy. Not a very well-called passing game today, but Warren plays well. Connor Hayward also gets the tied for the biggest offensive play of the game with a 29-yard run out of the Spartan. They go in like they're going to do a tush push on either 3rd or 4th down. Connor Hayward takes it and does an option play where I think it was Jaylen Warren runs to the outside and then they fake the option and Warren runs in for a block. Connor Hayward got sprung for a 29-yard play. Going to give credit again to Arthur Smith for using our tight ends well and getting the most out of our diverse pieces. They've been using some running plays for Jonnu Smith. He was involved in a positive way in the pass game today, kind of as basically our number one wide receiver out there. And Connor Hayward's been used very well in the Spartan play. It's called Spartan because Connor Hayward, of course, Michigan State Spartans. But Connor Hayward mixing it up, doing some really nice stuff with Gainwell, doing the option stuff, doing the tush push. Using Connor Hayward out there is always a positive. When he plays fullback, it's a good thing as well. Good to see Connor with a 29-yard run. Pat Freiermuth leads the team today with 3 catches for 63 yards. 2 of those 3. One was at the end of the first half when we got a field goal, and 2 were on the last drive in the fourth quarter. One was a down the middle play where Freiermuth got open. The other one was an option play where Rodgers pulled it out of Gainwell's belly and threw it to Pat Freiermuth. He's done that twice this year, and Pat Freiermuth has gotten 2 nice first down plays out of it. So we got to use the middle of the field more. I don't know why Pat wasn't more targeted today. He did not get nearly enough chances. He is a good player in the middle of the field. Reliable hands, was getting the ball over the linebacker. Rodgers made a few nice throws in the middle. They should have used it more. Instead of using these stupid one-on-one go balls that are 5 yards out of the reach of anybody or out of bounds or up to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, they should have really used Freiermuth more in this game. He gets a positive. MVS has 9 targets in this game. I know he's a Rodgers guy. I know he was a Green Bay guy. Rodgers loves him. He got him signed. I get it. I know that he is a big physical outside target, but your height doesn't matter if you can't catch the ball. And I know one of them was knocked away by, I think it was Denzel Ward, who's an all-pro. But MVS, 9 targets. And at the 3 targets in a row at the end of the game there, on the 10-yard line, you're going to target him 3 times. Twice they were on different pages. Once, MVS was supposed to run in for a slant, stopped his route on contact and ran outside, so Rodgers nearly threw a pick. The next play, it's supposed to be an outside ball, and MVS kind of runs in, and the ball goes between 2 receivers. So that looked like it was off on MVS as well. And the third one was a fade route, which was a predictable call, which was just over the outstretched arms of a mistimed jump from MVS. So Marquez Valdez-Scantling, big minus, terrible. 3 catches on 9 targets, on the wrong page. Just why target this guy? Again, I know Darnell Washington got hurt in the middle of this game, so your biggest target wasn't there, but give Jonnu another shot. He played okay today. Go do something with Roman Wilson in the middle of the field. Try Roman. Go to your short-handed Pat Freiermuth. You got other guys. Go to Ben Skoranek, for God's sake. He's got good hands and is a tall guy. Go to him. He's been here all year long and made a few good catches. He's more valuable than MVS is. I am so disappointed in this team. I understand if you don't like Roman, if he's not listening, whatever, but you're going to sign MVS and give him all these targets. MVS and Thielen were very quiet today, and I'm very upset about it. Offensive line overall plays pretty well, does allow 2 sacks, but those are mostly on Rodgers. Kept Myles Garrett in check, kept the 3 really talented defensive linemen overall in check. As a line in general, I got to give credit inside. The run game inside with McCormick and Frazier was working a lot today. There was 1 penalty on Cook and 1 penalty on Frazier, but overall those guys really opened up the inside. And Dylan Cook, man, has been really solid to this point now. Dylan Cook, for the last 4 games in there, getting his first 4 starts, has played quite solidly. And I'm not going to lie, there's going to be some conversation about Broderick Jones' contract coming up here, and we're going to see what we do. But overall, offensive line and Dylan Cook, positives today. Defensively, that's the best side of the ball. Again, only 13 points allowed, 10 in the first 2 drives, and nothing until we gave them 3 at the end. 2 picks today, 1 from Jack Sawyer and 1 from Kyle Duggar. The one play is a pressure by Highsmith. Highsmith gets a big quarterback hit. Shador throws it. It bounces off the helmet of Logan Lee. Good to see Logan Lee getting a tip ball here that goes into the hands of Sawyer, who runs it back for a nice return. So positives there for Highsmith for the pressure, for the batted ball for Logan Lee, and for the pick for Jack Sawyer. That's his 2nd pick. He's been making some plays in coverage. Even though he shouldn't be in coverage, when he's out there, he is having a keen eye and a knack for the ball. Good to see our 4th outside linebacker making plays since TJ didn't play today. Kyle Duggar played a good game as well. Did get beat on 1 pass play, but overall just really good in the run game, good on run support, solid on defense. He's gotten several turnovers this year. Kyle Duggar's been one of the best signings, especially during the season, to trade for Duggar at the trade deadline. What a steal that was. That was for a 6th and 7th round pick swap. We stole this veteran guy that's been really consistent. That pick was, granted, the interception was Shador just was getting pressured by, I think, Patrick Queen, and just tossed it up super high in the air and let the ball float forever. And Duggar just read it and got in front of the guy, boxed him out, and got a good pick. So good physical pick there. But dumb play by the rookie for sure. But that being said, 2 good interceptions that we couldn't turn into points. So that's on us on offense. But defensively, very nice. Highsmith, aside from that big pressure that caused the interception, also had 2 sacks of his own. Also got several other pressures as well. So Highsmith with a big day and a big positive as our pass rushing leader for the day. Positives all around on defense. Patrick Queen, tackle machine today with at least 5 total. Chuck Clark had his best game as a Pittsburgh Steeler with about 5 tackles or so today. Did miss 1 tackle, but overall had a pretty good tackle rate. Patrick Ramsey floating around between corners, stayed mostly at safety today in spite of the injuries. No James Pierre today. Several other guys did. Who else didn't play today? A couple other guys didn't play. The slot corner didn't play as well. So 2 of our 3 starters basically out of this game. Ramsey played very well. Cam Hayward got a few pressures, got penalized for falling on the quarterback during pressure. Bullshit call, bad call. Let the players play. He did. What are you going to do when you're going full speed at somebody? Let him play. Cam plays pretty well today. JPJ plays well as well. The passing game given up was mostly on the stupid zone stuff on the first 2 drives. After that, nothing really. Asante Samuel plus/minus didn't play great last week. This week was inconsistent. Did get beat on 2 man plays on the inside to Jerry Jeudy. Other than that, everything else was zone. So not a bad game overall. Couple nice tackles in the run game, but coverage-wise, hit or miss for Samuel. Not his best game, but better than last week. So we'll see how he goes going forward. Boswell, 2 for 3, did miss a 50-plus yarder. He doesn't kick well in the stadium, and he's been a little inconsistent the last 2 weeks. Doinked one last week that could have got us the game, and then missed one here that could have made a difference in a low-scoring defensive battle. So I'm going to give Boswell a minus for that one miss, even though it's a 50-yarder on the road in a bad stadium. Corliss Waitman, 5 punts for 203 yards. That's only a 40.6 yards per punt average, but all 5 of his 5 punts were inside the 20. So for a rainy day when field position matters a lot, I'm going to give Waitman a positive here. So Pittsburgh loses the game they should have won. That's completely on them. Again, I know suspensions. I know no receivers. I know a lot of injuries. I know division battle. I know good defense. I know on the road. I know cold game. I know all these things. But I also know that if you're playing a 3-12 team and you're playing for your division and taking the situation into your own hands, you got to win the game. I don't care who's on your roster or where you're playing at. You got to win the game. It's on Pittsburgh now. They lose 13-6 and they fall to 9-7. Next week now is for everything. I don't know if the Ravens are going to have Lamar Jackson back or not, or they're going to be playing with Tyler Snoop Huntley, as their backup quarterback, who's been serviceable and decent. In any case, next week we win and we get the division. We go to the playoffs. We lose, we're out. Baltimore gets the division. They go to the playoffs. We're playing for everything next week. We don't know what time it's going to be yet. Probably going to flex it into prime time, I would imagine, 4:25 or prime time next Sunday. It's going to be a really important game in the last week of the season. So Pittsburgh playing their starters. You got to think that if guys like TJ are healthy, they're going to play. Same with Lamar Jackson for Baltimore. So it's all down to the last week of the season, just like it is every year for us. We're playing for either 9-8 just to get a winning season and lose, or getting to 10-7 and getting to the playoffs and trying to get that first playoff win in years and years and years. We'll see what happens. In any case, at least the game is in our hands and not cheering for somebody else to win. We're cheering for ourselves to win. So who impressed you in this game and who did not impress you in this game? Did it go the way you expected, and who didn't show up for us? What do you think? Tell me in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to these Pittsburgh Steelers deep dives, and I'll bring you guys another review on the potentially division clinching game next week or last game of the season. We'll talk about it, and I'll see you guys next week. Go Steelers. Let's pray for a win.